In this session, you'll work with me to revise our What Does It Say app that we created together in a previous session. Now, previously, we had this interface here where I had 4 animals up and I pushed them as a button, and it altered this text down here to indicate the speech that that animal says. So push the cat and it says meow. We're going to revise this interface to make use of a list structure to give us more animals to work with and simplify and clean up the display. So essentially, we're going to have a button here, or in this case, a list view that lists off a bunch of animals. It's going to list off what? Cat, dog, pig, fish, frog, cow, horse, however many things we want, right? And when we select an animal, it's going to update the picture and update the text. It's going to be a little simpler, I think. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here I am with my brand new project, and here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to add an image, I'd like to add a label, and I'd like to add a list picker. Okay, so the image, to start off with, can be, let's see, I'm going to upload a file. What file do I want? I want a cat. My label is going to say what the cat says. So what does the cat say? Text one says meow. And text for list picker 1 should say, what does it say? Okay. Now, I'd like these things to be centered. With the image, there's no way to actually center it just with its own property. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick it inside of a horizontal arrangement. And the horizontal arrangement, remember our trick for making that centered was we adjusted the width to be filling the parent. Filled the parent, okay. And the alignment then was centered. Good. And same thing here, I'm going to make this text alignment center, but I also need to make the width fill the parent. And likewise, fill the parent. Oops, fill the parent, okay. And text alignment is center. Good. There we go. Okay, so everything's nicely lined up there now. All right, so is this all I need for my interface then? Not quite, because what I'm going to be doing is changing the image, kind of like we did in the dice example. And so I've got lots of animals that I want to have the potential to be able to use with this app, lots of images. So I need to go down here to my media panel and upload a bunch of files. And again, I wish that I could do these all at once, but I can't. So I'll let you work on uploading those for a second, and why don't you pause the video and catch back up with me when everything's uploaded. Okay, so I've got all my media files uploaded here, and I'm almost ready to go. One thing I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this list box contain the elements, contain the animal names that I'm working with. So I'll go ahead and I'll type those in. Cat, comma, chicken, comma, cow, comma, dog. Comma separated values, right? Let's see what else I got. Fish, fox, frog, horse, pig. Okay, good. So now real quick, before I even do anything. I've got some part of my app developed here. What does it say? And if I tap the list view, I get my list of items to choose from, and I can scroll that and select the one that I want. Okay? So now I just need to power what happens when I select that option. Okay, let's take a look in my block editor. Okay, so what do I want to do now? With my list picker, when the list picker makes a selection, so after they've picked an option, then what do I want to do? I want to change the image to match, and I want to change the label to match the animal. So there's a couple ways I could think about doing this. The easiest, the first thing that comes to my mind, at least, is I'm going to ask a question. And I'm going to say, look at the list picker, and look at the thing that was selected. Look at the selection. And I want to compare the text of that, the selection, with an animal name. So if they selected dog, dog. Oops, why isn't it? If they selected dog, then what do I want to do? I want to set image picture to dog.jpg to JPG. And I'd like to set the label text to wolf. Right? Let's see if that works real quick. So here, if I say I want the dog, look at that. It changed the animal picture and it changed the text. So that helps us out quite a bit. Now, like before, my temptation might be to do this. If the selection is chicken, set the picture to chicken. Type in the box chicken.jpg and change the text to rock. Again, let's see. So if I change to chicken, I get my chicken, rock, and I get my dog. Good. The other ones don't work, of course, yet, because I haven't written them. Okay, and that would be a very useful thing to do. Anytime I wanted to add an animal to my list, I would just have to, what? Update my designer to include them in the list here, and update the block, more or less copy one of these blocks in to compare the text to see what they've done. Okay. Now, from the dice example we worked on last time, you might be concerned about asking a lot of questions. And is there a more efficient way we could do this? Well, the difference between this and the dice example is that with the dice example, the file name was numbered, and the thing that we were selecting was a number. So there was a natural progression, a natural alignment between these things. Whereas here, it doesn't really matter if I ask if it was a dog first or if it was a chicken first, right? I can rearrange this order any way I wanted to. So there's no numeric correlation between the animals, the sounds, and the pictures. But let's think about this a second. Back here in my designer, what I've done is I've created this list picker. And by putting these elements in a string, I've created a list. Now, we know also that lists are inherently numbered. So what I could do is I could create some list variables here to help me manage this data a little bit better. I'm going to create a variable called pictures, and this variable is going to be a list. And what's in this list? It's going to be the names of the pictures that correspond to the animals that I had in my list box, or list picker rather. Well, wait, so how many are there? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many animals do I have to work with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 animals. Okay. So I'm going to make a list that has 11 elements in it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. And let's see, what are they now? I've got cat and chicken and cow and dog and duck and elephant what were the other ones? Elephant, fish, fox, frog, horse, pig. Fish, fox, frog, horse, and pig. Okay, now it's important that these are all actually in the same order as my other list, because that's how I'm going to make this relationship work. My pictures are going to correspond to the elements in my other list. Okay, now I don't want my pictures to just be the names of the animals. I want it to be the names of the picture files, right? So this is cat.jpg. JPG. Add the JPEG extension on all of these. Okay, so now I've got my list of all the pictures. And you know what? I also want a list of sounds. I'm just going to duplicate this whole list here. Scroll down here. And I'm going to use these names to tell me what they make. So let's see. Cat says meow. Chicken says bagawk. Cow says moo. Dog says woof. Duck says quack. Elephant says toot. I guess, I don't know. Fish says glub, glub. What does the fox say? I don't know. How's the song go? Hatty, 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 ho. Frog says ribbit. Horse says neigh. And a pig says oink. All right, good. So now I've got these lists going here. And notice that, again, the order matters, right? The cat is the first one. Meow is the first one. And back here in my list view, list picker, cat is the first entry. Okay? So when I select from here, when I select from the list picker, what I really want to know is what the index was of the selection. Give me the selected index. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create another variable for this. Create variable IDX. I want to initialize it to, so initialize it to 0. And then I'm going to set IDX to which one was selected. And now I can do the same idea here. Set the image picture to what? Well, select, I want to get the corresponding picture from this list, right? So look in the pictures list. And give me, IDX, right? So if they select cat, which is index 1 from the list picker, then I'll select cat JPG, which is index 1 from the pictures. And likewise, I'm going to set the label to, get rid of that. I'm going to do the same thing for the label. I'm going to select from the list, oh, I never named that, did I? Sounds. I'm going to select from the sounds list, index. Right? And that way I don't have to ask questions each time. I did a little bit more work setting things up. You know, getting these lists established was kind of a bit of an effort. But now that they're set up, now that they're there, all I have to do is, when I select an index from my list picker, go to the pictures list and find the corresponding picture. Go to the sounds list and find the corresponding sound. So does that work? Let's give it a go. Okay. So here we go. Let's try it. What does it say? Duck. Duck says quack. Fish says glub glub. Frog says ribbit. And of course, what does the fox say? All right, just having some fun. And there we go. There's a way we've made our app, what does it say, app, a little bit better using lists. We use a list to simplify the interface with the list picker, and we use the list to make it a little bit simpler so I don't have to ask so many questions about which item was selected.